I like that. Mm. How you feeling? All right?
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm good.
You good? When this go off, we're gonna get back on here.
All right.
All right. Welcome back to the Tree Shakers Radio Talk Show. Let's see how we gonna do this. This is so wonderful to be 60 years old and learning things new for the first time. Okay. Let's go here. Okay. Now, here. Again, welcome back to the Tree Shakers Radio Talk Show. Your hostess with the mostest, Kim Ford, Tree Shaker. So glad that you're joining us. We have with us today my the love of my life, Mr. Mark Ford. Thanks for joining us today, Mr. Ford.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, and it's good to work with you all the time. Because I most of the time when we work at this uh, the honey-do list.
Yeah, honeydew list. Yeah. I
but
tell you, yeah, I do.
but no, no, I'm just being humorous. And it's always good, whether outside, inside, or wherever. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm got old now, so I like uh, just sitting next to you and looking. I'm got to be old TV tree shaker, but I still got a
Yeah.
little few branches and leaves I can still shake.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, you do. So we talking about how I feel like my own survival depends on how we hold accountable this top heavy institution, and it's really not the institution as much as it is the governing body of the institution that is behaving so badly when it comes down to you, Mr. Ford, because you have a stellar reputation in the city of New Orleans.
Well, I have a lot of history with Suno, even before I got to college. I mean, before I was college age. Uh, as I stated in the 67 to be exact, seventh grade when I started playing music. The universities, Philip and Suno, didn't have, they had music departments pretty much just starting, so they didn't have a lot of musician majors.
Mm-hmm.
So during graduation time and different little occasions where they needed to have an orchestra, they would borrow musicians from my school, which was Alfred Laws Junior High. I remember that junior high. And we would go to their university and sit in with musicians that they had for their to play for their graduation. And we did that at Dillard and Suno.
Because
We,
all you could had to do was read music, and
we
then you
had,
could do that.
yes, and we were all able to read music. Nowadays, they're not teaching that. It's just they're playing by ear. Um, but Mr. Chatters
Well, they
was
don't
at
really have
Dillard.
music teachers, I don't think, in the schools anymore either. I think that
I'm
might
not
have
even
something to do
sure,
with it. I don't think
but
they have not like what I used to have when I was even in school. They don't
yeah,
have that anymore. Certainly not
yeah,
like when you were there. You know, they don't have the Mr. Harrises anymore.
yeah, yes, yes,
They
and
far and
and,
few
and God rest
between.
his soul because he just passed about 2 months ago. Um, but Mr. Chathams was the music director at Dillard University. We sat in with him, and Mr. Sachary was over the music department at Suno, and we would sit in with him to make band. And I'm talking that's like 67, 68, 69. We
So
did that.
somebody got indoctrinated into the Southern University system in 1967. You can just terminate their employment now as an employee of Southern, as a long time employee with Southern University, and just terminate their employment and their relationship with Southern University. I don't understand how that happens, and I think that that's wrong.
That's because you get people uh, from the Baton Rouge campus who think they know everything and think they know what's good for you, but they don't know what we've done for students who normally would have not gotten a chance to go to college or have a college experience. And you can say what you want, but we've graduated some very, very good and educated students, and they're all across this country. And just here in the city of New Orleans. And when you get somebody who's from here, now they get a big six-figure job working at Suno, but they would have never sent their children to Suno.
You're right.
Something wrong with that,
Something wrong with that.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
That's the thing that happened a lot. And I know a lot of them who work in there right now to this day, KR, who would have never sent their children there. Never,
Mm.
and when you from somewhere else, uh, matter of fact, when we first acquired the North Campus property,
Mm-hmm.
the
That's the part of the campus that's on the lakefront
on the
side of
lakefront
Suno,
side where the
because
dormitory,
initially they didn't even want to give Suno that property. It was a hassle with Suno trying to be able to utilize that property,
well,
right?
we got it. If I remember correctly, we did get it pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
But the Department of Defense Administration was actually going to put their new office. The people back at MISU, the MISU federal facility, was actually going to build their new office on that property, which would have benefited Suno. And according to uh, the person who was the chancellor then, who is now a state senator, said that Baton Rouge wanted it. They wanted that property. They wanted that department to put their property on the Baton Rouge campus, and that whole thing fell apart. That whole thing fell apart. So that's why I said, uh, and really, way back in the '70s, when they tried to merge Suno with UNO, we should have split from the main campus then. UNO split from LSU and Baton Rouge. So a lot of us fought to try to get separated from the Baton Rouge campus.
That might be something that we can even talk about doing right now. What's going on? What happened with that?
Baton Rouge is in control of Southern and New Orleans. So that's, I doubt if that'll ever happen. You know, and
Well, I tell you this, dear husband, that in from everything that I've seen that we have experienced post Katrina to now, is that the power of the people is immeasurable.
yeah, yeah.
And I know
And
it,
when the
it looks like
people,
it might be some really difficult work to make that happen, but I have no problem in starting a campaign. I have no problem in starting a campaign.
well,
You
I'm going to
know,
have to say, in the famous words of the illustrious Noonie Man, they got so many sellouts. They sellouts,
yeah, the sellouts ain't gonna
and
never stand
they
by,
gonna
right?
sabotage every time. But yeah, the
Yeah.
power of the people is a strong institution. Um, but you know, and they put all the emphasis on Southern and Baton Rouge, but actually, Southern University started here in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
The main campus, that what they call the main campus, Southern University A&M College, was started here in New Orleans, Louisiana. Uh, as a matter of fact, the site where Xavier High School is was Southern University uh, A&M College.
Mm.
And because they did not want blacks to go to LSU in Baton Rouge, white legislators took it from New Orleans and put it in Scotlandville. That's how Southern University A&M College got started, but it was started here. And then uh, in the 60s,
Because it sure is in Scotlandville.
yes, in the 60s, they opened up a branch here in New Orleans in the Pontchartrain Park area. You know, so I don't know. Look like that if we're anything, we should revert that back. You know, but you know, we nurtured a lot of students who would have normally not had the opportunity to go to college. You know,
Yeah.
and we worked with those students, and they actually became some very good students. I mean, uh, before we turned them loose, they were productive citizens, and a lot of them are judges.
Mm-hmm.
The police chief went to Southern New Orleans,
You
went
know
to
what? I
SUNY.
used to see when you first started working there, I would often see police officers coming and going from class because they did that. You know,
Yes.
they did police officers because they got some kind of discount on the
Well, all the
on the
schools do
enrollment.
that now,
Yeah,
but a lot of them were SUNY graduates,
yeah.
and a lot of police officers, including the police chief, SUNY graduate. Um, a bunch of the people in City Hall, like I said, in the 60s, who were in the accounting department were SUNY graduates. Um, a lot of judges are SUNY graduates, you know.
Mm-hmm,
So yes,
mm-hmm.
we've turned out some very good people through that university,
And
you
I'm
know.
gonna say too, we still have SUNO graduates employed in City Hall, but they
Mhm.
walking around like little mouses with the lights on,
Well, I guess
afraid,
they just
hiding.
you get tired and you know, when you get a certain age, you're not in the mood for the foolishness anymore, you know.
And I
Uh,
think that's probably where you was too. But then look how it came back to just how they came back and turned on you. And I just never would have imagined that such a thing could happen as this. That our families the ability for us to be able to survive financially has just been destroyed by these people hiring
Yeah.
somebody who don't know jack about anything to do with.
Also, when you have, and not to cut you off,
Mhm.
people who they brought in from elsewhere, who friends and family members were board members or uh, had high positions in the Baton Rouge campus. Because right now they brought down, they fired a lot of people from Suno, and they brought in folks from Southern and Baton Rouge to
Their
work that
friends and
same job.
family. And you
Yeah.
know what we call that in the tree shaking world, we call that cronyism. That's what
At
we
its
call that
at its
cronyism.
best.
Cronyism at its best. When you just gonna hire people because they friends. And all the folks out there listening, guess what? If you one of those people, I had a lady tell me just the other day that she is supporting a politician because he gave her a Thanksgiving basket. And I'm saying, and this lady, I know this lady, she constantly telling me about her wealth and her prowess. I say, somebody with all your money, why are he giving a basket to you? Why are they giving a basket to you? They got folks out here in this community, God in heaven knows, who don't really have no money to be able to afford a Thanksgiving meal. Why would you be in support of them giving it to you? Instead of them giving it to you, instead of you taking it, you should have been giving it. Say, oh no, give it to somebody who need this. That's what you should have said, because that makes you a part of that makes you a part of the problem. That's how who used to say that, like Richard Pryor. You are part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be okay with them just giving you a basket. Here you got the means to be able to afford to not only give that basket to somebody else, but to buy baskets for people your own self. You know what I'm saying? And then we need politicians in office who can resolve the issues that harm the community, not be able to bribe people that have voting blocks. That's not what's up.
Well,
No, they ain't gonna try to. They ain't trying to give Kim Ford no basket. They ain't trying to give Kim Ford no basket, because I got real issues that need help. We need an attorney from Mark Ford to fight to file a grievance against Southern University. Now they have a whole the administration, the board of directors at Suno at Southern in the Southern system have a whole law school. They have a whole law school. So what do they care about me taking them to court? Us taking them to court? What do they care about us taking them to court when they got a whole law school at their whim? Matter of fact, they got some of the state's top attorneys that sit on their board of directors.
yeah, yeah.
So
So,
how can we as just citizens about one job stand up to them? You know, how do we do that?
yeah, yeah. And anytime a person from the system, uh, when you file to appeal, and they tell you don't talk to any more of the board members, uh,
Yeah, they did.
and,
Yeah, they did.
and
Yes,
for
they did.
years, I've worked when the board meeting was held at Suno. I worked rigorously and often to make sure things went smooth with those
Yeah.
board meetings. And then they said, well, you don't talk to more any more of the board members.
People
Uh,
that you know too. People that you know. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
really, they're gonna have to. I come from a space of pushing the envelope, and being able to hold truth to power. I come from that space post Katrina. Life has changed me and made me be able to hold truth to power. And when you harm me and you harm my family, then I'm gonna have to say something about that, and I'm saying today that I'm getting ready to start the campaign.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy when just to show you how people in office and with power, how they work.
Power corrupts
you leave,
absolutely. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
but you leave a top job to take a subordinate type job. Well, I wouldn't say that. Let's say you decide to leave the number two position to the president to become a chancellor, and then next thing you know, the president announced, I'm leaving in 2022. Something wrong with that picture. But the rule is you have to be a chancellor before you could be a president of the university.
But you can't mess over Mark Ford and think you could be anything.
Well, they don't think any of us who were lay people was worth anything, no matter.
Apparently, yeah,
You
you're
know,
right. Apparently.
they just did what all political stuff do. When the new regime come in, I want my people who help me in position.
My friends.
You know,
My friends.
and
I want
then
my
they say,
friends in position.
you know,
You know.
and then when you say, when you look, I've never been written up. I've never been late for anything.
Never been late. Never missed me.
I'm always on all my assignments.
Always.
You know,
Always.
and then
Have
all of
an
a sudden,
impeccable, you have an impeccable work ethic and work record, Mr. Ford. And that I can tell you you do, because I don't. I can't even say one job that I had time accrued. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even give you any information about your retirement. They didn't even give you your sick leave and your vacation time. They didn't even give you that.
you
And
know,
they didn't even
the
they,
lady
ain't-
who
they ain't giving it to you. You earned that.
they fired the person in human resource.
Well,
They
that's
put
a
a
big
new
clue
lady.
right there. I remember the human HR is everything. I remember the HR director at Housing Authority. They came and got her on the job and put her in handcuffs. HR is everything. What's going on with your HR people tells a lot about what's happening with your payroll and how you paying folks.
Yeah, yeah. But this young lady, they put her. She came in with this new regime, and then they put her in
With the
this
when once the
position.
chancellor became from once the chancellor went from interim to chancellor, that's when things changed, huh?
Pretty. They started. No, when he first came, they started taking because they got rid of a lot of people there.
Oh, okay. Even when he was
But
interim.
yeah, and
Wow, that's
then
pretty bold.
like 3 weeks, 2 weeks after the new lady took over in human resources, she quit. And
Oh,
I doubt if they got anybody in position now.
what?
If they do, they don't answer the phone.
I know, and it's
You
like
know.
your everything that dealing with your social security and your or your you can't get any of that information now. That and somebody that has been the work record that you have, we gonna have to fight this. We're gonna have to fight this big alternative, except to go up to this long standing since 1967 is when your relationship began with Southern University here in New Orleans. So right now, and I'm just so saddened by this. And it's all about holding truth to power. And it's not the university, it's not the staff, and it's not the students, it's the top heavy administration. That's what it
Well,
is. It's the board of regents.
I tell you what,
They are a powerful group. Woo! Kimmy done stood up against some powerful folks. But this one right
I
here is
even
pretty
know,
big.
I even know to this day, several of the first graduating class of Southern University in New Orleans. I know them till still to this day.
Well, we're gonna have to
You
reach
know,
out to them and we're gonna have to
and
do something getting it together with
you
this,
know,
y'all.
so I'm just saying that to say how long and how much of the history I know of this university. And I remember old buildings, new buildings being built. Um, and students were always uh, eager to do things around the university and get their grades.
But
Uh,
now I don't see that happening now. It's far
well,
and few between, you know.
but you know what? And see, when you do things like student government, we used to have student government that worked at this university. The last few years, that haven't been happening because guess what? Uh, the last student government president, straight out of college, was hired at the university, which is nothing wrong with that. But then they fired somebody else who was working there a long time to put them in. So they just cut deals, just like football, politics. Everybody cutting a deal. Politicians today, they cut deals so when they don't be in office anymore, they still got some income coming in.
And that's
You
all
know,
that they care about. That's what it
you
looks
know,
like to me. And that's just the bottom line. It's just that it's not about the work that you've done and the history of the work that you've done, but it's about what deals you can make for your own personal gain, you know. And I just see that happening too across society. But this one right here, the injustice that I have seen happen to you, I can't even imagine, you know, how to go forward without addressing it, you know.
yeah, I work. The one lawyer that I did talk to, he said, "Well, look, I can't do nothing because I'm a board member of the Southern
Right,
University system."
right. That's
I
right.
said, "Wow."
That's right.
And that person, I worked rigorously for
Rigorously,
years with his uncle. So yeah, he know who I'm talking about now. I worked with his uncle for a long time. I worked
and where's his uncle now?
actually the gentleman is deceased.
Hmm.
Uh,
But he would be
but
shamed.
but when people say his name, everybody still remembers this gentleman. You know, we all worked together. This gentleman, Johnny Jackson, uh, uh, the Desire Community Center, everybody who worked there.
Have you seen a Desire Community Center right now?
No, no.
I was over in that area. I was over in that area during the campaign because that's a part of District D, and it looks tearing. It was tearful because I just had never driven back there. I hadn't driven back there since Katrina,
Hmm.
and my God Almighty, it is. And I could remember it being when I was young. It was such a vibrant place, even with the it just don't look healthy right now,
Yeah.
and I just
And a lot of those people who helped create those things, uh, still don't have so much history with this city. Um, the Black Panthers was back at by the Desire. A lot of
mm-hmm,
them were Suno students.
yeah.
Uh, if you go to the archives of the Times Picayune and pull up when Jeruso, uh,
That's our current council member's grandfather.
yeah, when he had the man and was putting him in
He was the chief of
handcuffs,
police, right?
that was a Suno student. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you his name. And he was 17 years old. His name is Tyrone Edwards, and he worked in the movement uh, vigorously. And as a matter of fact, he's a Baptist minister right now in Saint Bernard Parish.
Oh, we're
Tyrone
gonna have to
Edwards
look
is his
him
name.
up. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and
Uh-huh.
so many others. We um, I can't think of some of them other guys' names just off the top of my head. And a lot of them went into politics. They were, like I say, they were legislators in the uh, 70s and stuff out of Baton Rouge. And, uh, uh, just people like Johnny Jackson, Suno graduate, were very involved in student government. Um, so there's a lot of history. and that these people helped make the city, and they were all part of that culture there. Everybody who a culture bearer is not a Mardi Gras Indian or a baby doll or a second liner or a
Right.
brass band player. You know,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
uh, a
The
lot of culture
history
bearers,
makers, yeah,
a
the
lot of
culture
culture bearers
bearers.
and history makers in this city.
Yeah, they actually carried the culture to make sure that the culture was protected and doing those things to help the culture.
Several of our Suno students were at that counter, that lunch counter in Woolworth.
Woodward. And they act like now, like that's not even no big deal. They got rid of that counter. They tore the whole building down. But that whole thing was just a disrespect to
Yeah,
the.
that should have been archived away somewhere.
It should have even they didn't even recognize that. They didn't even recognize that. They need and they it should have been a public recognition
that's because
for what has happened there. Even if that means that we're gonna have to do it ourselves. Because clearly our leadership does not realize the significance of what that was and what that meant. Because even our children now can't even know that there was a time when they were not even allowed to go. And then that because of that, I feel like that time is coming back again. Because now when black children walk into a store, a department store, they follow them around the store. They
mm-hmm.
follow, and
Mm-hmm.
look, I'm telling you, it's just a lot, me. It's a lot. But I'm just, because so much of our 31 years has been in in a cohesive relationship with Southern University. Your artistic career, your financial career, your education, and then to have them to just like slam the door on you without any regard. It's just not a good space for me. I'm not in a good space about that, man. And I feel like we're gonna have to stand up for this relationship with Southern University. We have to stand up for that. And to the listening public, I don't know what that's going to look like, but it looks like we need to at least start a campaign. I don't know if it's going to be what community recall is or not, but we have to start a campaign to get some commitment. Even the people in because Suno has always been a big part of that community there in that area. The residents of that community, that's who stepped up and said that UNO couldn't be stood up for that.
Well, you had a few people
Yeah.
in Pontchartrain Park community that didn't actually want Suno there on that spot, and they still living to this day. Some of them, but a lot of the students fought real hard.
Yeah.
And then when we
The
had
community,
those
yeah.
legislators, students fought real hard not to change Suno to Um, and there's a lot of documentation on that, especially in the yearbooks, about changing, taking the S off of Suno. Yeah, yeah. They fought real hard. But then we had real students. Not so much real students. We just had people that was interested in their future
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
And they fought real hard to stop that from happening. The
Yeah.
only thing they stopped too short was not getting away from the Baton Rouge campus, you know.
Yeah.
And I think they would have. Time we had a student who was also a graduate of Southern, who did very well with the system, is who they fired. You know, uh, and actually they didn't really want to give her the job because the man who's in there now wanted the job. You see, once again, you have to be a chancellor in order to be the president. So if you want to be in line to be the president of Southern University's system, you have to spend some time in the chancellor position, you know? So politics 101 still, but you know, you hurt a lot of people along the way just to get that done. That's not right and it's not fair.
And look like
You
they're
know?
gonna let you be one of those that just get hurt and they gonna just move on like it
But
ain't never
that's all
happened.
right because I normally
Yeah.
don't ask God to get back at nobody, but you know, God is going to punish quite a few people on that campus. Uh, you know, because you got those who throw the rock and hide their hand.
Yeah.
You know, y'all know who y'all are. And sooner or later that rock is gonna ricochet and come right back to you. You know, gonna come back at you. So and enjoy your power, enjoy stepping on whoever all the people you stepped on because it's going to be short lived.
Yeah.
You know.
One way or another, it's gonna be short lived, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It might not come directly at you, but it might come at you through one of your family members. You know. Because God don't like ugly. When I was a kid, those old people used to say that all the time. You know, all them old sayings, I understand them now. I couldn't understand them when I was a kid, but I understand them now. You know, God don't like ugly. You know, because it's definitely gonna, what goes around comes around. And you know, most of the time, those are the same people. When they come back at them, they can't take it. They fall apart. You know, I wouldn't dare try to tell somebody who had experience as a cameraman or photographer how to do their job, and
you ain't no photographer.
you
You don't know nothing about taking pictures,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, you know. So that's all right. All of the ugly gonna come out. You know, no saying people they're not there for long. They about to ride on to something bigger and better, but the bottom is gonna fall eventually. You know.
Oh yeah.
And you know, so many attorneys that I know back when I was with the state attorney were retired, but you know, I wish I knew some of the up and coming lawyers now because you know something has to be done about that.
Yeah.
But that's all right though because I'm doing my bookkeeping and my accounting service, tax people in the city of New Orleans.
I think so too, man. I think so too.
I'm not gonna tell you how to get all your money back. I'm gonna tell you what you need to do to stay out of trouble with the IRS, with the government.
I'm gonna tell you how to follow the rules for the. I think you tell people how to follow the rules for IRS, and I hear people all the time guaranteeing people that they're gonna give them so much money back, but really, I don't know. And I think that come the first of the year, we're gonna have to let you do a tax workshop.
Yeah, I did one before I left H&R Block. But yeah, you know, to do another one, I'd love to do that. So if anybody needs, you know, some workshops done, just give me a call. Call my wife.
That's right. Y'all can always call his wife at 504-248-8594. The number for the Treeshakers Radio Talk Show, which you're listening to right now, WHIBFM.org. Also, here we have our event coming up on December the 2nd. Give us a shout out on Eventbrite. And if you do a search for WHIV, you'll get the details about how you can attend our upcoming event on December 2nd. And station promos is check out live from the Funky Uncle this Friday from 2 to 4 today, featuring one of New Orleans' legendary brass brands. The Hot Eight is recording live. Hot Eight brass brand recorded live, airing Friday, 2 to 4 on the station, dedicated to supporting our local musicians, human rights, and social justice. WHIV FM, streaming worldwide on WHIVFM.org/listen and 102.3 FM. Um, Also, you can continue to support WHIV by listening to our website and make it a one-time or recurring donation. While you're there, click on store and treat yourself to one of our stylish polo shirts, coffee mugs, or any of our other gift items. Simply go to the WHIVFM.org, click store. That's WHIVFM.org. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are not a radio station with a mission. We are a mission with a radio station. End all wars. The Community Voice Awards and anniversary is going to be on December the 5th, 2021. The WIHIV first annual Community Voice Awards and anniversary party will be Saturday, December 5th from 5 to 8 at the House of Barone. That's 1239 Barone Street in New Orleans, founded by Dr. Mark Lang Deary and an infectious disease specialist on World AIDS Day in 2014. WHIV FM is New Orleans' only station dedicated to human rights and social justice. Yes, we are dedicated to human rights and social justice. Renowned performer Vanessa Carr, woohoo, is our master of ceremony. Vanessa is a New Orleans musician, drag performer, and advocate for the LGBTQ plus community. Our anniversary celebration will have great food, entertainment, and cocktails by 7-3 Distilling Company. For more info, visit Eventbrite or our website at WHIVFM.com, FM.org. I'm sorry. Tickets. Tickets are $15. Do not read on air info only. Note all current. Okay, so you please be in the house on December 2nd for the first annual Community Voice Awards. Yes, Community Voice Awards. I love the sound of that because this community has a resounding voice that needs to be heard, deserves to be heard. So we're hoping that we're going to be able to see y'all on December the 5th. That's 1239 Barone Street. So check that out, y'all. Certainly. I'm so glad that I'm going to be able to be an audience of the famous, infamous Vanessa Carr. Oh my God. That child is so gifted with that guitar. Whew. Hi, Danny. We had a good time with Vanessa Carr.
Yeah.
And definitely I know it's going to be a great event. I'm sure it's going to be, and I got tickets for us to go too. Here, baby, I already bought tickets for us to go, right. And I get 6 people that can come and go along with us to go. So, yeah, y'all. Today we announcing a campaign to get some pushback at Southern University about injustice, and it's not Southern University. I shouldn't say that. I should say, what should we call it, baby? The
President administration.
The president administration. We're gonna try to, what we want to do. We want to oust the current administration. We want to champion for their resignation from the. We're gonna champion for the resignation of the current administration.
well, I don't want to go there,
Yeah, because you know,
but something needs
I
to
won't go there. I want them
some
gone. If
something.
they want you gone, they need to go. It's
Well,
not you who need to
well,
go. They need to go.
no. What I need is just. Uh, I don't care what happens to them. I'm not trying to hurt nobody. I ain't trying to get them. I'm trying to get whole, made whole.
Yeah,
That's all I want.
yeah,
That's all I want is to be made whole. And whatever happens, happens. Whether they get to stay where they at or whatever, that's cool with me.
yeah.
I just want to be made whole,
Okay.
you know.
So
Uh,
we're looking for an attorney then. That's what we are. We're looking for an attorney for Mr. Ford.
just some things need to be aired out, you
Hmm.
know. And
Yeah.
uh, some things just need to be put forth in the public, and so nobody don't throw the rock and hide their hand anymore.
Yeah. We're gonna
You
do
know.
some rock throwing revealing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we're
That's
gonna
right.
come up with some kind of name to put on this. We need a hashtag for this. Hashtag stop the rock throwing. And stop the hiding hand. Stopping the hiding hand. What we gonna do? Yeah.
You
You
know,
can't just get in here. This is a public institution. You cannot make it your personal playground. You playing with people's lives.
what's bad about it is, and folks who been in state government and different places know that people in Baton Rouge don't like New Orleans people anyway.
Not all of them, huh, baby? I
Well,
got friends in
well,
Baton Rouge,
I'm not
right?
trying to say everybody, but um,
Administratively,
you know,
politically,
it's
yeah.
it's a hard thing. New Orleans natives have a hard time elsewhere in Louisiana because they don't. A lot of people in these other uh,
Genres?
cities in Louisiana. Uh, well, I'm gonna just call it like it is. The country bumpkins don't like,
Oh,
New Orleans, but when they come to New Orleans, they let their hair down and uh, show all the things that they can't do when they're at home. You know,
they get free when they come here. They won't be free. But
what they
I
call
tell
it,
you
letting their
this,
hair down. Huh?
I tell you this, from what I see is that people, black people particularly, all across the state of Louisiana are suffering. I see it. I see just like we saw Ahmaud Arbery's trial, where these three men, thought that it was acceptable and okay that they could just kill this man. It ain't no different than when they were hanging black men and boys from trees, when they were hanging black from trees, because they hang women too from trees. There were women that was hanging from those trees too. And now, instead of them putting us out on a tree and hanging us, they it has infiltrated to our jobs where they just hang us and for no reason put us on a tree and let us die. Hang us for our neck from the tree. And it ain't even and that's what I see this as a form of what you call that when they were hanging them from trees, they called it
Lynch.
lynching. When they lynching us, if they take your means for you to be able to provide for your family, that is a form of lynching to me. When you for no apparent whatever reason you can pull out the sky to string somebody up, then hey, that's what you're doing. And now that has transcended from just being mean old white men to just being people, period. Our employers, our neighborhood leaders, our community leaders. Here, this man was just jogging along, probably looking at that house, and I could imagine he looking at that house to went inside the open site to just look and see what was there, because people do that because they're curious, because they want to know what it'll look like when they want to know what it'll look like when they are They want to know what it look like when they get ready to build inside of their house. So they want to go inside the one that's already there to look and see what it looks like. But I don't know. I'm just sad by that whole thing that my Aubrey. Well, I'm thankful that they found them guilty because God knows they did kill that young man. They did kill him. They killed him dead just because he looked like what? A black man jogging? So we getting injustice across this land. We're getting injustice across this land, across the city, across the state, and people who feel like they can be powerful if they say that they are on the side of wrong. It's not good. It's just not good. And I just was talking to some folks out, and I sat in a meeting with the folks in Bogalusa. There's a federal contractor that has the uh, answering service for Medicare, which is federal as a federal service. So they hired a subcontractor to take all of their phone calls and train so this subcontractor trains the employees how to manage these phone calls and how to provide services to Medicaid and Medicare uh, patients. And they have and it seems like they have a history of building in poor black communities. So that's what's happening. And so they have a big plant in Bogalusa that hires over 500 people, majority of which are black, or overwhelming majority of which are black. And that's just the status quo for how these subcontractors for the federal government operate. And then they go in these communities because they feel like they can get away with giving them the least amount of service and expecting the most in return. I have heard things like where I've heard things like they're not paying them the right wages, or they're not paying them, like they have to use their own equipment to be able to access the requirements for the job. And the job is supposed to provide you with the tools that you need to be able to do the job. But it's a lot of that going on. And so God bless them. And my shout goes out to them today as well. Because when you employed and you got to deal with injustice, it makes it so much more difficult, especially when they terminate your employment just any old kind of way. And we as people have got to change what that looks like. And so Mr. Ford and I have also been bitten by the bug because we human, we trying to survive here in this community too. And if you got questions you want to be on, you got a show idea, you want to come and talk about your injustice, then hit us up at 504-248-8594. Our email address is NOLA@gmail.com. And our next radio talk show is on the way into the studio. So we're going to sign out on that. God bless. Thank you so much, my dear husband, for our 32nd anniversary. We're going to have we're going to do a Facebook Live conference with other married couples and invite them in, and we're gonna go in with them, and we're gonna talk about how you get to have longevity in your marriage, how your relationship can continue to grow, and how our relationship has continued to grow. You know,
Right.
because we still a work in progress. We still growing and learning and in love. Hey, we still in love.
Yes, always.
Always, we're gonna always
Always
be in love.
and forever.
And forever. We're gonna forever be in love no matter what. So peace and blessings to y'all. Thank you to my dear husband. I love you true and dear baby. And what you say? You got something else you want to
Yeah,
say?
if anybody needs some information on The new tax laws are not quite finished yet, but if you have any questions you want to ask me, you can call me. Uh, Whether it's about accounting or bookkeeping, or if you need some bookkeeping done, you need some taxes done, or if you just want to talk about them, or if you need a workshop done,
Yeah.
give me a call.
And tax questions are free. My husband loves to talk taxes, but
Yeah.
he got to tell me where to sign that every time. Look, this is where you sign right here. That is X, because I can't stand doing taxes. I don't know how. Who knows? But Mr. Ford is the tax man. He is a tax genius. So tax questions free. Hit him up. You got buku years of taxes you need done. Holler at him. He'll help you see your way out of that.
All right. If 504-248-8587. If I don't answer, leave a message.
All righty, y'all. Peace. Tree shakers. Tree shakers. And we out. And